Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 podcast. My name is Mario, and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it today, tomorrow, and really always. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the Quick Stop F1 channel, and share with your friends. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, remember not only to obviously listen to this classic, not only like it, but also download it and then steal any of your friends' phones and download it there as well. It's fine. They won't find it creepy that you're looking at their phone, and it will be a great excuse. I'm sure they'll believe you. Remember, we also have the Patreon where you have exclusive access to ad-free content, merch, Nyasha's address. He still hasn't confirmed if he's okay with it, but we'll run it anyways. And with all that said, my favorite part of the podcast, introducing the one, the only, Tasha.
Hello. Hi, Mario.
It's coming. It's coming. See,
I'm like waiting.
You're like, when is it coming? When is it coming? Hey, everybody.
Threw me off a little bit.
Just so you know, when Lewis Hamilton disappeared after the steal of 2021, she bore the burden. She was the only one who knew where Lewis Hamilton was. But she couldn't say anything because when Lewis Hamilton tells you, I need you not to tell anyone, you don't tell anyone.
I'm a man of my word. Yeah.
Always. Forever and always. Toto thinks he's off the hook. But if this man does not give us a confirmation on whether or not Lewis will forever be in Mercedes, and if he doesn't put some upgrades on that car, I don't know that we'll see him after December. And I can't confirm or deny that Tasha will know his last location. And finally, there's only one person currently capable of possibly taking the reins from Lewis Hamilton when it comes to Fitz. And if you don't know who that is, it's our guy, Joe Guan Yu.
Oh, I was going to say not
but
me.
If you didn't, no. But if you didn't know, Joe Guan Yu actually gets advice from Tasha to see if the Fitz are future Lewis Hamilton worthy. Yeah. So that's why he's so much on the up.
I get final approval. Yeah. You're so well researched. It's like you know me or something.
It's I take it very seriously. Every time we do one of these podcasts, it's like we just become better friends with Chris, with you. So I've been doing my research, my stalking, my do I know how many X's are behind door number 1 and 2? Maybe. Do I know what happened that one time in high school where you were a little drunk and all your friends were doing it? So there was this bridge and this beach. It's a whole thing.
Please.
Hey, Tasha, how are you?
Hi, Mario. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing
How's it going?
Happy to be here.
I like the green, by the way. It's
I
great
like
color.
Your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trading our
And by the way, to everybody watching, we like your shirt too.
Yeah.
It's a great shirt.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this Saturday. I'm so excited. This is the kickoff of silly season. We haven't gotten that much silly stuff going on, but I feel like, we really appreciate you guys coming and hang out with us. Anyway, especially as unserious as we are. So silly season has kicked off for us. Yeah. So yeah,
we had 2 or 3 very serious topics on the board, and they became rather non-serious topics.
Yeah, unserious.
But much better.
Yeah.
Last time they saw us, Tasha, where were we?
Yeah, we were in Belgium, a spa. And we had a little bit of a fun post-quali, post-sprint race. We had a lot to cover that last podcast.
It was 25 sessions.
That was crazy.
They don't think about us when they schedule these things,
right. It's Stefano, please, think of the content creators.
Please.
How am I supposed to be out here recapping 14 events for one day? That's crazy.
3 races in 3 weeks. Then you add some sprints into that.
Sprinkle that on.
How much I can't. And then all the silly stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
we're gonna come clean because we are honest out here. Spot predictions. While we made them, let's be honest. Spot predictions for us were very hopes and dreams predictions.
Hopium, as the kids like to say.
I think we must say that. With that said, Spa crushed our hopes and our dreams.
Yeah. See, this is why race predictions have to be a little bit more from now forward. Let me get my head back on, because I was trying to it was a fun, a moment of high. We were all feeling really good that weekend for some reason. I don't know, but we were like just going crazy with predictions. We asked you guys on Twitter. You guys sent us some fun predictions. And so I think we also were like, yeah, let's have a little fun with this. So
we got too excited.
To recap, here's what I said. I said my podium was going to be Verstappen, Hamilton, and Piastri. Your podium was supposed to be Piastri, Hamilton, Verstappen. And then the actual podium was Verstappen.
Don't say it!
Verstappen, Perez, and Leclerc. So, needless to say, we were a little bit off. We both got one of the three.
The one we love to say the most, the one we always begrudgingly are like, no, we gotta be serious.
He's like the free space in bingo. It's just like, it's always there. You know what I mean? So,
you don't really want to
include him. Yeah. So, I mean,
kind of
we were really hopeful for our boy Piastri, but that first lap incident with Sainz really kind of like took him out the game.
Broke my heart, yeah.
Yeah, that was sad. I was so sad that he didn't get a chance to race. I really wanted to see where he could kind of put that McLaren, to be quite honest. Like, I mean, obviously it was supposed to be podium, according to us.
Mind,
so, yeah.
And my heart and my soul, yes.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this before the show, but just quickly, do you see all those, like, not all those, but Carlos Sainz saying, like, it wasn't me.
That tweet?
I had nothing to me.
He was like, it's a racing incident, but then he spent like a whole paragraph explaining why it was Oscar's fault. Like,
me?
Like, bro, like have some
that
fucking
little kid over there. He's still playing with Legos. He hasn't raced enough. He didn't win in Formula 2 and 3.
Yeah.
He's not clearly kicking ass now. He's clearly too inexperienced. Hopefully one day he'll learn.
Yeah.
Woo.
I was like, that's lame. Boo. Throwing tomatoes.
Boo
like
that man. Boo that man.
Don't
but
be that. Like, don't be
I
that
saw
guy.
even Ferrari fans were like, nah, this ain't it, Carlos.
It's not
this
it. Like, why are you getting on Twitter? Like, what is with the Twitter fingers? Like, the whole, like, it wasn't my fault. It was this guy's fault. Like, that's lame. Don't be that guy. I'm sorry. Like, just take the L and move on. You are just as equally responsible for that. So,
you know where he probably tweeted that? He was probably waiting for Charles to wrap up all his podium activities so that then they could have the debrief. So he probably had that time.
Yeah, a little bit time in between. Yeah.
Get those Twitter fingers out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but really, it feels bad for Piastri. It really does.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about it. Like, it really does feel that he is a future champion.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's how it tracks.
Yeah.
I'm happy about Lewis Hamilton taking George Russell's advice, but I am also disappointed that George Russell doesn't take his own advice. So, maybe if you're going to tell someone to step on it, you do not get sixth, and the person you told to step on it gets fourth. Maybe next time we talk that shit after if we can't back it up, or like we just don't talk as much.
If he listened to our podcast, then he would have heard me tell him multiple times just to shut the fuck up. Like,
just shut up, dude. Just
zip it.
Wait, dude. I'm gonna add for next episode that you are looking for a job to fix the PR for any of these drivers.
I'm a fixer. I'm a fixer.
You are that. I'm not making this up. That's why we need you fixing these situations.
Like,
we need to fix the sprints. Or remove them. And then you need to start getting with these social media accounts. Start talking about no. You, George, please call her. You're wasting time you're wasting your time right now.
Yeah. Sullying your good name whenever you open your mouth.
We got one more great point about the race. Give it to us.
Yeah.
Give it to us because we love it.
So podium was a big L. We took a big L for the podium, but we did say that we thought Yuki would kind of come back this race and he would outperform Danny, which he did. He was able to secure that last valuable point of the race. He got P10. So
love to see it.
Yeah, love to see it. I mean, yeah, everybody's talking shit. I mean, obviously Danny had a great race, his first race back, but it really, the tide was like, oh, Danny's going to come and wash you. I feel like they're going to be a lot closer, hopefully, in performance. But yeah, it was just good to see that Yuki got he was able to come back and score that point. Just to be like, listen, like, just because Danny's more experienced and whatever, like, don't try to push me out the picture. Yeah, exactly. So,
and it wasn't like, if you look at we watched the race and everything, but like, if you didn't watch the race and you look at a replay, it wasn't like right place, right time. Like, Yuki had some good moves. He managed his tires well. He managed the race well. So it was on merit. And I think, I think anything anyone does in an AlphaTauri is on merit because the car ain't helping. Yeah. So I guess,
That's all you.
That's all you got. Oh, your guy is married when you're driving that one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I feel like, the race, it was a pretty good race. I did get a little tired toward the middle. I'm not going to lie. Like, I definitely wanted to kind of like take a little nap, but I always like keep my eyes open thinking like something's going to happen. Like, I definitely get that FOMO feeling, watching F1 where I'm like, I want to take a nap and like tune in later, but I don't want to miss something. So, but this is one of the
And it really is that way.
And this is like one of those races where like nothing happened to be missing out on. So yeah, if you had FOMO for Spa, don't.
I'm sad for Piastri.
Yeah, except for that, we weren't
that like that really knocked the wind out of my sails. I was very, very excited for Spa and I should be invested in the race and I am, but like I was super invested in the storyline of what can this rookie do?
Yeah, he's got this momentum. So it's like I want to see. I hate that like somebody's building momentum and then like they get taken out of a race like
immediately.
It wasn't even 4 seconds. Like y'all didn't even make it to the damn corner yet. Like wow. Party's over. So
I hate to see it.
I really hate to see it.
But you know what I don't hate? Oh, these segues. I'm getting professional like Nyasha. You know what we don't hate is every tweet, reply, and comment that you sent us with your predictions, with what you wanted to see for the race. A lot of you, one of you doesn't know how to follow instructions. I'm looking at you.
Not you singling him out.
Why does he give us 10? I'm just missing. I feel like our 100th episode will have him on the podcast. I am assuming you are him because of your handle. I apologize if not. We'll have the person on the podcast and be like, how do you feel? I've singled you out pretty much every weekend. We are going to have, obviously every race weekend, we're still going to be doing that where we ask for your predictions. We're going to wait until FP3 is over. So definitely love to see it, encourage it. Also in the YouTube comments, I know that Tasha and I read them. And we try to interact with you. We always appreciate those messages, even if you're just stopping by to say hi. Chris does a great job. Chris, our editor, he does a great job of putting graphics on the screen, putting tickers for qualifying results. So if you're not watching on YouTube, we encourage you to stop by, leave a comment, watch what we got going on. But either way, we appreciate wherever you're watching, listening, etc. With that said, we're going to go on a quick break and we're going to come right back with a segment Tasha and I have really enjoyed working on, which is basically an In Case You Missed It. So don't go anywhere. And we're back. Woo. All right. We know. Tasha just mentioned it. Tasha just alluded to it. Spa was rough. That very end.
We survived it, though.
If you didn't have the FOMO, you're probably asleep. So because of that, if you were asleep during Spa, maybe you got 2 or 3 days more in your nap. We hope you are all well-rested kings and queens. But what we're going to do to help out while we were awake, we weren't. We actually just read this yesterday and today. What we're going to do is we're going to go through some headlines that we think are interesting. Hey, we peel back the curtain.
Mario loves telling you how the sausage gets made. Like, what is wrong with you?
Fourth wall for me. I don't have a fourth wall. If anybody wants to show up and watch live, we'll watch this live. It's fine. Hey, sometimes we do not do that. Sometimes we do. Right. Let us know if you can tell in the
like
product.
That sometimes.
Yeah. Real life is a busy thing. Tasha, you didn't let me introduce the segment.
I'm sorry, you're like killing me right now.
We're very original over here, so we have a segment called In Case You Missed It. Suggest better names, please. And we honestly do have some pretty cool, pretty fun little headlines that we want to talk about. So, Tasha.
Yes.
Do us the honor of giving us a good headline.
All right. Well, I feel like a little pressure now. Like, I hope these are good.
You know they're good. You're know that.
Yeah. So first up, we have some silly season-esque sort of rumor. We're hearing that Hugo Boss has emerged as a potential title sponsor for AlphaTauri in 2024 when the team goes through their rebrand. Basically, the team plans to drop its current name from 2024 and replace it with a new permanent team and car name with Red Bull connections. The CEO of the team, Peter Bayer, has confirmed that it won't return to Toro Rosso. And I have been seeing on Twitter some of the names that have been sort of like being kicked around. And I gotta say, Hugo Boss Bulls Racing will never come out of my mouth. That is too much.
First and last time.
Ever. Just like the Twitter rebrand to X, like I will never call it that. Like we got to work out something better. I will say I'm excited about this potential partnership, not for the name part, but the fashion part. Like if Yuki comes out in a fly Hugo Boss like pinstripe suit ever at any point, like that will completely send me to the heavens. Because anything is better than this overpriced H&M that AlphaTauri has been trying to sell. So I'm excited for at least that. Like what he's doing in that car, he deserves something, you know? Like give him something.
I'm thinking thoughts. I'm thinking suit, but like a sweater. Like a white sweater or black sweater underneath the suit, not like suit, shirt, tie.
Like a cashmere, sort of like a thin.
Exactly, like a more casual, like a thin sweater, and the suit jacket, suit pants, good shoes,
some like fun sneakers. I can see Yuki doing like the sneaker combo.
I would
with
love
the
the sneaker thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
It's what Yuki deserves. So anyway,
George Russell, PR, Yuki, fashion. Call us. Yeah. She's already doing it for Joe Guanju, so it's...
I'm the hardest working woman in F1.
Who doesn't know that? We already know that. That's why I'm so surprised you do this every...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love donating my time. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
It does feel like charity sometimes.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right. Next headline, please.
Look, Tasha wanted me to come up with a better name than Boss Bull, like Ball. I was gonna say Ball. I was gonna say Ball. Like Boss Bull Racing, Bull Boss Racing.
Be serious, like, please. Yeah. They need to hire the ladies who do the nail polish names and shit. It's like hire OPI to come up with a name for you guys because this is not.
I'm gonna say one last thing about this article. We've beaten this drum before. This is more proof that Red Bull is doing terrible things to this team and needs to sell it. Like Red Bull would never entertain Red Bull boss, like never entertain that because it's unserious. And they're giving it to AlphaTauri because they think it's an unserious team. Speaking of Red Bull, look, I want to talk about two things here. I started going from one track, but then I deviated to the other track. And so I'm reading an article that says that now that Checo and Max are separated by 125 points exactly, there are terms in Checo's contract that say that his bonuses and salary can now be reduced. So I'm gonna really skim over the fact that Max Verstappen got the fastest lap that he didn't need, and that got him to 125. I'm gonna skip over gloss. What's
cold-blooded,
like
baby.
Mario? I'm just gonna jump over that one, like woof, and then I'm just gonna go to. I am shocked at these contracts, and I am shocked at this. I don't know, man. Like 125 points.
Yeah.
What? Like
I'm more shocked at that than the clause and the performance clause. I feel like the performance clause is fine. How the fuck did you get 125 point deficit to your teammate in like one of the fastest cars?
I wonder if he got that clause and he said like, yeah, that's fine. 125 points never gonna happen.
Yeah, because that'll never happen.
And that me 125 points? No, absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. From that, I went into a rabbit hole.
We're not even halfway. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but like, 125 point deficit midway through a season, not even the duration of an entire season.
So that's a great point. I also read,
it's fucking crazy.
If it gets worse, and I hope it doesn't, but like I mentioned earlier, we're at 125. I read that if it gets to 200, Marco is legally allowed to take blood from Checo in hopes to make experiments so that he looks younger. and this one's heavy. If Checo and Max are separated by 250 points, Red Bull outright owns Mexico.
Damn.
From then on. And I don't know who Checo thinks he is to sign that contract, but it's legally binding now.
Damn.
So hopefully it doesn't get that bad. And while reading about points, because I started reading about like which is really an interesting thought is like Max really did get that fastest lap, gets him to 125. I don't blame Max for wanting all the points possible. That's what an F1 tries to do. But it got me thinking about what else is the point of having points if you're just up there or whatever.
Mhm.
And I read that drivers actually get paid per point scored in a championship.
Like a bonus.
It's very hush hush, but one of the confirmed ones is, and this is 2018 Verstappen. So this is, the little prodigy that can, but not yet there. He got paid $25,000 per point scored that season.
Wow.
So there is financial incentive.
Yeah.
But I think it's crazy. like, that's so much money.
Right.
Yuki,
like that's
Yuki
couple
got the
points.
bag this
Yeah. Exactly. Yuki got his bag this weekend.
bag.
Yes. All things point to wins for Yuki. Yeah, for a fact.
Yes. All right. What do you got next?
Feels like this is just like a Red Bull headline session, but I did think this was kind of like interesting. So Stefano believes that Red Bull should be considered a historic team. He says that Red Bull are now worth being called a historical team like Ferrari, McLaren, and Lotus. He says, quote, it's also the need to confirm the heritage of a team. Red Bull know how to do special things and must go down in F1 history as such.
Okay.
My question is he laying on the energy drinks like team like just too much? Like, is this too thick? Like a historical team? This is my thing with F1. Yeah. Always the hyperbole, the like laying it on thick.
Okay.
Right? Like, why can't they just be a good team? Why does it got to be historical? What have they done that is historical? What
you can currently dominant?
Currently, historically? Question mark. I wouldn't say that. So I'm like, why is this constant need for making it feel better or more grand than it is? Like, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that. It's just very like, it's too much.
I like it a lot. I think if you try to give it to me through this is a sports drink that became a Formula One team, I think that is a great achievement.
But McLaren achievement, Lotus, they don't even have an engine. Like
and that's what I was going to. That's what I was getting to. It's like, if you are going to come and lay this shit down,
right?
Come with the list. Don't come to me with Red Bull. Yeah. Come to me with the lineup of teams that we have right now. It is so rich in history. Yeah. And talk to me about the lineup.
Right.
But why are you? Yes, too thick.
Too much.
Too thick.
Too much too soon. Like, let it happen naturally. Like, in 20 years, let's have this conversation. Let's wait till 2026. Let's just see how the engine works out. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's start there. Like, let's do the baby steps. Let's crawl before we walk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what's historic about Red Bull?
What?
It's the asterisk on the Lewis Hamilton GOAT achievements. Red Bull's going to be a little asterisk that says competed with Lewis very, very well. That's how they're going to be historic. That's like the history book is just going to say this team did well at competing with a GOAT. Like, that's,
right.
Unless they win for a lot of more years, and that would, as a product, I think that would suck. Because to become historic, like what, 4 more years of this?
I don't know. I think it depends on what you consider historic. I guess I'm just thinking of not Red Bull, not Red Bull F1 racing. Red Bull as like a marketing brand, sure.
Ooh, I like, that's interesting.
But Red Bull F1.
In F1.
With all the like other manufacturers that exist and have this reputation, not just in F1, but other moto racing series. Like, again, just too thick. Like, I think you can compliment them is one thing, but to act like there's this like extra layer of like, I don't know, greatness on top of that when like we're not there yet is just sort of like too much for me.
I want to talk more about that because I really like your point about like there's no problem. I think objectively speaking, it would be impossible for us to say that Red Bull isn't doing really well right now. That Red Bull isn't like doing their thing right now. Job. But I really like your point. Why do we have to like explode it into they're historic? Do you think, because me thinking about NBA, I think it's kind of similar. Do you think this is a thing like a lot in sports media now where it's just like we always have to talk about Look at what's happening right now.
I mean, I think we went through a period of time in like a lot of different sports, like maybe like the last 20 years has seen like so many incredible dynasties, athletes, team, like just the explosion of all these different like amazing athletes. And I feel like, not to be like shady or anything, but I feel like recently as we're seeing like lots of these great people retire and like tides are kind of turning, like dynasties that once are no longer. Like, I think a lot of sports media is like starved for like this narrative of like greatness, where it's like some of these athletes it took them 15, 20 years to be considered GOATs in their sport. Now we want to call people that after like 2 or 3 good seasons. Like, I think, especially like coming from an era where we have so many amazing athletes who transcended their sports, like transcended, their fan bases, and we know them worldwide. Like, I think it's really silly to try to push onto people who I think are deserving at some point, but not now. And I think F1 suffers a lot from that, because I do think that they are trying so hard to push it like, oh, this is great, they're great, this person's amazing, everybody's GOAT. If everybody in F1's a GOAT, what does that mean?
A GOAT. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you giving, and it's not, again, I'm not trying to be like, these people aren't great or doing a great job, but like, that comes with GOAT status comes with time. And we haven't had that amount of time to pass that on to people yet. Yeah. So I think we should just calm it down, because I think it makes it look silly. I think it makes people like Stefano look silly, but I always got one in the chamber for him. So I just think that man is like the epitome of silly. So there's that.
If you're not aware, the Quick Stop family all signed that we must have at least one ready to go.
Not for somebody, not all the same BS.
Not always use it, but there has to be one ready in case of emergency.
Right.
I agree with everything you said, and a little pet peeve of mine is now the use of the word godlike. Correct. And it's like, we never had to get to that if we weren't like diminishing the value of the word GOAT.
Right.
Like, now I have to call Lewis godlike because now we're calling Max goat-like. And it's like, let's just, like you said, let's tone it down. Let's level it. And it's nothing to do with not praising Red Bull for doing what they're doing. Right. It's just being chill about Red Bull is currently doing great. Red Bull has been doing great for the past few years. Man, if Red Bull were to theoretically keep this up for 4 more years, damn, that would be a long, but like, we can get there. And
I think the difference for me is also the difference between like fans. Like, if a Max Verstappen fan, if that's their GOAT, that's their GOAT. Like, who am I to tell you that he's not, right? But like, when I'm talking about like the leadership in Formula One, the media in F1 who have a responsibility to not responsibility, but they create the narrative around Formula One. And so to me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, why is everything pointing towards you guys trying so hard to legitimize this team and this driver? Like, calling it a spade. Like, you're trying so hard to legitimize Red Bull and Max Verstappen as like this historic goated team, when it's like there's some interesting stuff that happened that everybody else is like, I wouldn't call it historic for that reason, but I guess you can call it historic. Like, reaching a cost cap the first year ever that it's implemented is pretty historic.
That is pretty historic.
But you know what I mean?
That's an insane achievement. We got a rule set, because typically the first year of the rule is like, we're watching all of you. But they still broke it. Impressive.
So, and there's some stuff that happened in 2021 that's historic, Tasha, but it's not like that wouldn't be what I sell the sport. That's all I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't use that team to sell F1 to the other world, to everybody else in the world. And I think Stefano, maybe in the F1 kind of media, have it a little bit backwards of like what we're expecting when they talk about the sport. Like, big it up, but be for real. So that's how.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was supposed to be fast.
I'm not gonna add anything to that because that was perfect. The next, I'm gonna gloss over this a little bit, but I did want to mention we're on Alpine watch now. I never knew if it was Alpine or Alpine until Formula One confirmed it for me. So we're on Alpine watch right now.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about the guy everybody's talking about, and I want to talk about someone else. But Otmar, see how I say Otmar to not even attempt to say his last name?
Oh.
No, I'm not going to try. Otmar, previously from Alpine, has been placed on a 12-month gardening leave. And
hell is that?
I am not smart enough to know what a garden leave is, but it is a period of time during which employees are required to stay away from work, typically after resigned or terminated, and it comes with hella compensation. So it's part of your severance package, and
Okay.
it's basically the team telling you "vamos," but here's this bag, but like I don't want to see you around for a year, but here's this bag. But because apparently Otmar is addicted, he did say like he's known Formula One all his life. He said I could go and work for an engine manufacturer, for example, help them, or I could work for F1 Experiences, keep that in mind, and help them, or the FIA. So he's ready to go work in any capacity that he legally can. So
Legally.
I found it really interesting that he said F1 Experience. Tasha. Which F1 experience would you want Otmar to cater for you? And what would be his role?
I mean, I'm of the 100% belief that F1 needs an experience coordinator, director, somebody. I'm sure they have
So
one, but
Otmar?
I don't think he's. I don't know. But Otmar, yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna pass. This is pass.
The other, speaking of passing, because everybody passes over this guy.
Yeah.
With
Speaking of
Otmar, the former Alpine sporting director Alan Permain also. Oh, I apologize if it's not Permain. Alan Permain was also let go, and I'm slightly curious of when I see like he gets mentioned only in the sentence to add to Otmar. I looked up some information on him, and first thing, let's call a spade a spade. Horner and Wolf hardly agree on anything. So when the first thing I saw was two very respectful comments from both of them about him, I think that tells you a lot about the caliber of person he must have been. It implies something else, but like he has been in the paddock in F1.
Right.
So
And he's still here with us. Yeah.
yeah, he's still here. He's still
He's
here,
with
and he's
us.
gonna. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's probably also enjoying garden leave with a
Right.
bag. Less so. But anyways, so Toto Wolff said Alan is one of the rocks of F1. He's one of the longest standing senior engineers in the sport, and certainly someone with a lot of knowledge. Horner said, "Well, I've never worked with Alan. I think sometimes there has to be respect shown for somebody that's put in 34 years of hard work and been involved in world championships with Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. Both of them said it won't be the last time you've seen them in the pit lane." And so I want to make this about myself, obviously. Alan and I both started great journeys in 1989. He started a respected and impressive 34-year career in F1. I was born. We are the same.
Wow. That's
Me
a
and
long.
Alan.
Wow.
Hey, what?
Not trying to like.
A
no.
long what?
I know. I'm a long career. Wow. Like that's a
okay,
long
okay.
time.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant something else.
Wow. 34 years. I couldn't imagine doing anything for 34 years.
For 34 years. Live. That's all I've done for 34 years.
Like, right. Exist.
And honestly, it's been taking a toll.
Real talk. Yeah.
Like real talk. Like,
yeah.
the other day I heard a song and said like I'm too depressed to be narcissistic, and I was like, I've been depressed.
Right.
It's rough
That's
out
hilarious.
here. Look, we're gonna go on another. We're gonna go on another quick news article,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna say the wrong thing, so I corrected myself. Tasha, what do you have next?
Okay, hang on. I have two more, but one we can go
Yes.
real quick. So, really good news for F1 Academy. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Really good news for F1 Academy. Managing director Susie Wolf has confirmed that the races will now be broadcast. She shared on her social media that today marks our last race weekend before we join F1. And from that point onwards, F1 Academy races will be shown live. The last race will be this year at COTA, and it will be on October 22nd. So that should be fun. And I don't know if we have a broadcast network just yet, like if it'll be F1 TV, Sky F1, ESPN. So we're not sure yet where, but they have some time to figure that out because, October is a few months away. So yeah, shout out to Susie Wolf. I'm excited. I'm like, I just don't understand why it wasn't broadcasted to begin with. I mean, I understand that it kind of happened quickly and they had to kind of get, stuff rolling quickly. But I just feel like if you're not going to broadcast it, what is the point?
You're literally wasting whatever effort you want me to be happy about, you're wasting it by not doing that. From now on, we got to refer to, because I hate when they do this on news articles and stuff, when they refer to, for example, I see it a lot with, God, I quote too much NBA, but Gabrielle Union is married to Dwayne Wade, and you can see an article that says like Dwayne Wade's wife, and it's like, bro, that's Gabrielle
fucking Union, yeah.
So, exactly. So from now on, I think we should refer to Toto Wolff as Susie Wolf's husband.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Mm-hmm. What do you have next? So you know what happened? I'm gonna peel the curtain back. I read 2 instead of 1, and then I thought you had 1 left, but really you had 2 left too.
And now I just have 1. Yes. All right. So the final little tidbit we have is F1, FIA, and Liberty Media are on different pages regarding the potential of adding a new 11th team to the grid. Also, water is wet. They're always disagreeing about everything. So basically, F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali has insisted that an 11th entrant would have to add value to the sport, an opinion echoed by current team principals across the paddock and also backed by Liberty Media CEO Greg Maffei. He says
Nailed it.
Thank you. He says there was a process to add more teams, but the bar is very high, and it's unclear what value an 11th team would add, and there's a lot of uncertainty among the other teams about an 11th team. So Domenicali says that a decision could be made as soon as September, like if we're going to actually see an 11th team. Wow. But my problem reading this has been mainly from the beginning of all of this has been like I can't talk. Said so many words and I can't speak. The goalposts have been shifting a lot. The whole and value is very abstract, but to be honest, the people who have been interested in joining F1, I don't see how they don't add value to the sport. I also am very confused because there's teams on the grid currently that I would say you could argue don't add a lot of value to the sport. Yuki, cover your ears.
Not boss.
Yuki, cover your ears. But
balls, bulls. Not boss balls, bulls. Bulls, boss, ball. No.
Right. Because the fact of the matter is they can only race 9 teams. Like, they can't race the Red Bulls. They get out of the way if they need, if they're being, you know what I'm saying? So they can't race every other team on the grid. So what value does that add? Like, who does that add value to? So I think the whole idea of value is just it's like a cop-out. Like, it's easy to say, like, oh, you don't add value. And it's like, dude, it's Mario Andretti who's interested. Cadillac is interested. Like, what are we saying? What?
Is that like a brand or
it's like a brand.
I can't agree more. Like,
it's crazy.
And the shifting of the goalpost, like, I would not be surprised if there's a shifting of value. You call that abstract?
Yeah.
Like, I agree. But like, I think that there is the definition of value is set by the FIA and all of the teams.
Right.
So like, I really do think like fucking Andretti. They've just keep moving the no, you bring this much, but do you bring this much? And it's like, nobody knows what value is.
And he's been doing everything so far. Everything that they've asked, he's done it. Like, I think the latest thing that kind of give us a Billy for the application.
I give you Billy.
Good. They were like saying, well, if you want to be an F1, buy an F1 team, but it's like no teams are available to buy. Like, no one's selling. So it's just. But then, of course, like I said, with the F1 and the FIA, you have Ben, who's like, full steam ahead, wants another team involved. So I don't know what's going on with everybody kind of disagreeing. I don't know what we're going to find out in September if it actually like comes to light, but it will be interesting.
September is like next month.
That's true. So that's, so we'll see.
These things move.
Yeah. They seem like they're dragging their feet though. So I'm just sort of like, what's really going on? Like, this is what we are hearing, but what's actually going on behind the scenes?
I think it's what you alluded to earlier. I think behind the scenes, the conversations that are being had
Yeah.
are very like, you're good but not good enough, and then I'm constantly going to just keep telling you that. Doesn't matter what you bring.
Right.
It really does feel that way. And like, we get morsels, like we get little tidbits,
little
like the things we don't,
yeah.
the things we're not seeing probably with regards to these discussions have to be very intense. Yeah. We were discussing this hypothetical before the show, but instead we would love to hear what you all think with regards to the following. If we get an 11th team on the grid, I think, and you can say your piece as well, I think it's a lose-lose situation because if the team wins top 3, something insane, top 3 in constructors, that means all of the other teams are going to be looking terrible. And all of the other teams are going to be on my ass. Like, you can't do well, because if you do well, what are people going to say about Haas, Williams, Ferrari, like,
Alpine,
like all of these teams, like, so like, okay, I can't win. I can't get 3rd place. That'd be crazy. I can't do it. Okay. I'm going to just chill in the back. My first year, I'm just going to chill in the back. Okay, why did we add an 11th team if it's just going to be last all the time? Fuck. Okay, I won't be last. I'm going to be 7th. Still fucked by Haas, Williams, like AlphaTauri or Boss Bull Racing or whatever. Like, I feel like there is no winning formula for a new team. And I feel like it's a lot of, and you mentioned this before the show, there's so much ego in this thing with like, someone you can't come in here and make me look bad.
Right.
So I laid out, I guess, all 3. What do you all think would happen if a team comes in, gets 3rd? If a team comes in, they're last? Like, what would be a good season for a new team? I really don't see it. Don't know it. Don't see it. Too much ego as well. Yeah. Anywho, please let us know on the YouTube comments, Twitter, never gonna call it the other thing. Quick Stop F1 channel. Make sure to let us know. We're gonna go on a quick last break, and we're gonna go into what I very much like to call, I lost the name, Silly Season Summer Session. Thank you. Please stay with us. Okay. So we, while doing some research on the show and it being summer break, we saw so much of this guy's contract, this other guy's contract is going to be extended. Has he been extended, etc. So we thought we'll go ahead and prepare a little bit of a summary on different, like all the different drivers and their contract status, so that when you see 14 tweets that say 14 different things, you can think of, oh no, Mario and Tasha discussed it. Actually, this is what happening. So, you know, don't believe them, believe us. So I'm going to go through some of the drivers, and I'm sure, you know, some drivers will definitely be able to talk about. Quick ones to get out of the way. I think we've talked about it as well in so many other episodes. Max Verstappen locked in until 2028. Don't have to talk about him. Checo locked in until 2024. Obviously, there's a lot to say about him, but I think we've said a lot about it already. Daniel Rick and other drivers that can replace him, etc. So that's Red Bull. For Mercedes, George Russell is locked in until 2025. And for Lewis Hamilton, I have a question for you. We have not heard anything. Yeah. Any confirmation with regards to Lewis Hamilton's contract. We've heard a lot of things, but nothing concrete. Right. And then we hear that, in case you missed it, during the awesome kids being part of the broadcast, little cheeky Toto went to one of the kids and said that he's already locked in for 2 years. Right. But we don't know that. Right. So all we've gotten is fluff. And so I ask you, Tasha, does Toto lie to kids or to the fans?
I think Toto lies to himself. I don't know.
Oh, no!
Column C. I think he's just lying to himself. I don't know if you saw this recently, but he said something along the lines of like he's doing everything possible to get Lewis to stay. Now, I don't know if it was that it's a, I read it, so I don't know if he said it with like a smile on his face or if he was being dead serious. I'm not sure. But it like comes into play with this idea of like, they've been telling us, they being Toto and Lewis, for like the past year, oh, we're just going to have a little coffee and then we're going to sign it. Oh,
Super quick,
we're just going to like,
cash.
yeah, like, it's, oh yeah, just a weekend. We'll do it this weekend. Like it's goalpost shifting. Like that's exactly what's happening here. So now we're in the anything to get them to stay territory. So again, I don't know. I don't believe Toto anymore. I'm not going to believe anything until I see a scanned copy PDF signed by both parties. Like, because, yeah.
It doesn't matter if it looks like a CIA document with all the black. I just want to make sure that I can read Lewis Hamilton, confirm years, and signing. That's
Roscoe's paw print, because, we need his seal of approval on the dotted line.
That would be so cute.
He has to lose his father for the next, however many years. So we got to make sure he's cool with it. But yeah.
Did you hear during the kids thing, Lewis said that Roscoe stays with a friend of his that has 10 dogs.
Christopher follows them on social media. He found their account. Yeah. And it's really cute because they do have like a ton of dogs. I don't know if they like board them all or if they own them. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's funny like seeing Roscoe with like his 10 little dog pals. And,
that's so cool. So cool.
It's cute.
Speaking of things that aren't cute. So I guess Charles Leclerc is pretty cute. But the situation though. Okay. It's a rumor. Yeah. So it's a rumor that Charles Leclerc has actually already been extended. It's a rumor that his contract is going to go up to 2025. Yep. And then it's in the range of 180 million euros, with the last year capable of up to 50 million.
Damn.
So it seems that it's kind of confirmed, but it's not confirmed by Ferrari. So we're calling it a rumor. Meanwhile, and the other side of Ferrari. And I'm not even putting words in anybody's mouth because literally Carlos Sainz have said this so many times. He's been trying to like get Ferrari to start contract extension conversations, and Ferrari's not ready for it because like they've got so much on their mind and they're super busy and like we don't have that much money right now. We're tied up because like but like don't look at the other side where we gave 200 milli to your guy. Please don't. Tasha, his contract's over 2024. Yeah. Would you put Carlos Sainz as a primary driver? So secondary, whatever. Would you stick him as a primary driver in any other team?
No.
And that's all we need to hear.
Yeah.
So it's like, will he go be a secondary driver somewhere else? Like,
yeah.
It's looking weird for my boy.
Yeah.
Great hair though, man. And that's coming from me. I think I have good hair, but you have amazing
you
hair.
Do have great hair, Mario.
No, but Carlos, stupid. So moving on to McLaren, this is where I'm going to ask Tasha the most difficult question I've ever asked on this podcast. We have Lando Norris until 2025.
Yeah.
He's been very like, I don't want to talk about it right now. That's not me. Oscar Piastri, his contract is over in 2024. You think McLaren want to extend him?
I mean, if they're smart, yes, they will. I feel like he's done what they brought him to do. He has had an amazing rookie season so far. I'll flip it and reverse it though. Do you think Oscar? Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Now, do you think the way that Oscar got out of his Alpine contract to come to McLaren, do you think he might pull something similar if another team with a more consistent car comes calling and a better offer than McLaren? Like, would that be crazy that he just was like, bloop, bloop, and just like jumps two teams and like heads to a better team? If there is one, I guess.
When I was in college, I had a girlfriend. It was pretty serious. We were together for like 4.5 years.
Wow.
And then she cheated on me and left me over a text message. And then I'm not happy about this. I'm just saying that the guy that she started dating after she cheated on me, he cheated on her.
Ooh.
And I'm not saying like I'm just saying like karma be crazy sometimes.
How you get him is how you lose him. That's a fact. So yeah.
So like saying that to say, Oscar Piastri can be like, you guys fucked over Danny Rick
Right.
like that? You guys don't have limits, bro. You guys did that to your ex, bro?
True.
I think he's got, I'm going to say
True.
balls, but that's not really the right word. But like,
He's
I think he's proven that he cares about himself with regards to his performance, his like career and everything. So damn, imagine a Red Bull do come calling. What do?
Yeah.
More money, more car? What do you do?
Right.
That would be so spicy.
Yeah. I would like to see that. I mean, yeah, we need something spicy. And I feel like
That would
this
be
time
so
last year,
spicy.
he kicked off silly season with that tweet. So imagine the uproar if he was like, yeah, I'm dipping out of McLaren after a year. Yeah.
My problem is that I'm super conflicted because if he changed his team on that note, I love him.
Right.
So if he I love him, but if he goes to Red Bull, then I love a Red Bull driver, and it's like complicated. Okay.
Yeah.
We have, and this is a quick one and a funny one. Fernando Alonso is this is a quick question. Fernando Alonso's contract ends in 2024. Tasha, is it his last contract in F1 ever? You think?
Can I be like 50-50 on this?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like he might leave.
If he performs like he is.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the wind's kind of been knocked out of his sails a little bit. So I just feel like I think he thought like, oh, this is it. Like they have a great car. He was so upbeat and jovial. Like at the beginning of the season, like truly a whole different person at the beginning of the season.
And then he said it.
Yeah. Then he said the magic words.
The George Russell syndrome.
I don't know. I'll just put it like that. Yeah. But his vibe has been like, to be serious, like his vibe has been very like questionable lately. And I don't know if he sees himself staying in the sport or if another team calls and, you know, he just moves on, bounces. So,
yeah.
Which I can see that because that's his thing. So, yeah.
I extend the challenge to anybody who's listening.
Yeah.
Find me Lance Stroll's contract details because they don't fucking exist. Okay? If you go to any website and you look for Lance Stroll's contract, literally nobody knows.
Yeah.
The only thing it says in the description of his contract is Lance Stroll is the son of Lawrence Stroll, who is the owner of nobody knows details. So I don't know the details on that either, but I think he's safe. Glossing over Alpine, I just found it interesting. Both drivers are with contract until 2024. So theoretically, speaking of spicy things, Alpine could be like, fuck it. Give us 2 new drivers.
Yeah. Well, and they could both be like, fuck it. Seeing how everybody else is getting axed. Yeah, like I do feel like a few of these drivers need to maybe like shop their options around because
Ocon.
What would it be?
Mercedes?
Yeah. I don't think Mercedes is going to happen. I'm talking about like in the immediate like future. Because if I see like everybody get fired around me, like what makes me inclined to stay? You know, so
pick up that phone. And call your agent.
What do you think about this quote from Cyril, who says basically, when you close your eyes and think of Mercedes, you think of Lewis Hamilton. Even though Nico Rosberg did extraordinary things, when you look at Red Bull, you think of Vettel, and then you think of Max. So basically, what he's alluding to is that Alpine doesn't have that number one driver. Yeah. And that alluring driver. So to your point with Alpine potentially replacing them both, I could see that being a possibility. And then, like I said, I can also see the possibility being that like they both leave, but I don't know. Like that's a weird situation for a lot of reasons. But I did think it's interesting that, you know, they kind of brought up like there's no real lead driver at that team. So I would agree with that.
We're basically saying like we like what we got, but our identity is off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not looking good there.
All I want to say is like, there's a world where if Ocon was more successful, and I know that's asking a lot and everything, but like if Ocon were more successful, I'd be okay with closing my eyes thinking Ocon all day. Yeah.
And I don't think it necessarily even needs to be success, because if you look at Alex at Williams, I think Alex is just taking a very big leadership role. Like he's he's
his
planted himself.
involvement.
Yeah. So I don't think it necessarily even means that he needs to be more successful, but he needs to plant himself more like a leader on a team.
Great point.
Yeah.
Which actually makes it sound even worse for them drivers.
Right. They're just there. They're like, okay.
It's a great, no.
Yeah.
It's way too good of a point because Albon feels like an ambassador for Williams. And meanwhile, he does fine, but in Williams. And so I'm saying, like, we got two drivers here, but none of them feel Alpine. They're both French. They're both French, bro. What more do you want?
Right.
Oh, man. Valtteri contract until 2025. Quick note that Audi arrives 2026, so we'll see if Audi likes the vibe. Zhou Guanyu have only found rumors about possibly signing for another contract, but it's all been rumors. Danny Rick, end of 2023, but he's with Red Bull anyways. Yuki, end of 2023. I read that it is rumored that he's going to definitely stay with AlphaTauri, which makes sense. There's really nowhere else for him currently.
Right.
Obviously, the Honda coming into the sport with Aston Martin would be interesting for him. And then we've got a similar Ferrari situation with Haas, which I guess it's Haas Ferrari, so it makes sense. Gunther Steiner has been very clear, and he said it in the media that he has already made up his mind that Nico Hülkenberg is going to be driving for them in 2024.
Makes sense.
It's not confirmed. Yeah. It's not confirmed, but he's come out and said that.
Right.
At the same time, Gunther Steiner read the chapter on Carlos Sainz that Ferrari wrote and said, while we will fuck around with Nico, they've not picked up the phone for Kevin Magnussen.
We'll give you a call. Yeah.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
Yeah, we'll call you. Don't worry. We'll have our people call your people. Yeah.
You've got our number, right? You'll know when we call, right? Yeah, okay.
I mean, the Haas car, for where it is on the, it's definitely proving that it can do better in more competent hands. So that is an interesting, development.
Nico's been doing so well in qualifying.
Yeah.
That's what really is.
Yeah. So, I mean, it definitely is proving that, like, with better drivers in the seats, there's some more potential from the car that can be extracted. So, yeah. And I feel like K-Mag has definitely been underperforming a lot this season. Like, and when it was him and Mick, he was like dunking on Mick. So now he's getting dunked on by Nico. So.
I was gonna say Tandy called it out when we were bigging up K-Mag. She was like, he's next to Mick Schumacher,
right?
Like, and goddamn, the moment an adult steps into that team, K-Mag is like, fuck, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So rounding it out, Alex Albon. I didn't find anything other than the fact that he signed a multi-year contract in 2023. So that means at least 2024. But there's no details on whether it's longer or anything. I don't think Williams would ever let that kid go. He's probably going to have to eventually if he wants to win for serious, unfortunately. But me being Williams, seeing how involved he is, I would never want to see him.
Yeah.
Actually, Albon feels like someone who would definitely will have a career after being a driver. Like, there's no way he won't.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, there's no way he won't.
Yeah.
And then Logan Sargent. Logan is not confirmed. James Val says he's happy with him. From what you've seen so far from Logan, F1 driver or not? Or more time needed?
I mean, I think he needs more time, but I don't think he deserves more time, if that makes sense. Like, I definitely think he should get we gave you a season. You didn't really, he's not really more even showing like potential. You know what I mean? So it's like, like we don't want to talk about Nick and having his 10 races. I think that was too few, but I think a whole season.
It was 11 if you count the first one.
Oh, pardon me, 11. I think it's just too few races to determine that. But I feel like over a whole season, I don't feel like Logan has gotten better. I mean, if they're willing to take this like nurturing approach to him and they see something that maybe we haven't seen, go for it. But I feel like with the Williams on the rise the way that it is, that's another seat where I feel like with the second competent driver in it, they might be doing a lot better than what they are. Like, as a team. Alex is responsible for the sole points for that team. So a second Alex like driver in the second seat, I feel like would have a lot. You see a lot more of
for
the
at least for
team's
development of the car. I think to your
Yeah.
point, like
yeah,
you have another driver who's more capable of developing the car, then you could maybe get in more points.
yeah, more points, more
Yeah.
sponsorship opportunity. I mean, like there's so many things, so many. Logan to me, like he even for that reason, like
Even being the
as
only
an
American, it doesn't feel like America's like behind him that much.
No, he's jarring to me. I watched the what is it, the Grill the Grid video that just came out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And all the drivers are talking or whatever, and he gets on Logan and his accent, and I'm like, yo, this is so everybody's got like a British accent, varying degrees of like European sounding, and then you have Logan, and I'm just like, dude, this is so jarring.
We have to ask other drivers to do an American accent. Danny Rick has one.
Danny has one for
Danny
sure.
Rick has one.
Yeah.
So my thing with Logan, it's like you're in a group project and like it's two people maybe, or maybe you have a friend that's really, really smart, like smarter than you, but just like you're trying to keep up with in a good way. Like his intelligence is making you want more for yourself, kind of deal. Where Logan and Albon, you see Albon as a clearly more knowledgeable, blah, 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 blah. I haven't seen enough from Logan on how he talks, how he refers to the car, how he carries himself. I don't see any of Albon rubbing off on him. Any veteranship from Albon, any like thinking 20 steps further. Like I haven't seen any of that. And it's like,
yeah, I think he's just trying to get his bearings. I don't think it's hard to like absorb that when you're just trying to get a handle on the car. I don't know. I just feel like
and then you see Nick, seriously, then you see Nick go and you're like,
oh shit, that could be me.
Life.
Yeah, that could be me. Yeah. And it will be. So, that's what happens.
You heard it here first.
I feel like I'm the happy medium between Red Bull and like James Vowles being like a nurturing, like father-like figure. I'm like, you're out, bitch. Like, sorry. Yeah.
Hey, at least, but you're honest. It's tough love,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he would be a good reserve driver situation. Like, I would, keep him kind of like the Danny Rick thing, or kind of like Mick Schumacher.
Where you can't hear his accent.
Like, please, trigger warning. I need a trigger warning if you're going to put a random American in an F1 video.
Floridian about to speak.
Of all people, Florida man speaks. Like, hell no.
No!
Hell no.
It comes out that Logan Sargent was Florida man all
Florida
along.
Man, yeah.
Oh, no.
Florida man drives F1 car. I don't care. Like, no. Pass.
Look, if you're still with us somehow, if you're still listening somehow, we love you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it way too much. We get on small tangents sometimes, just the smallest of
just
tangents.
Little ones, yeah. Not hurting anybody.
Look, we're gonna be doing our thing every Saturday. We're gonna keep bringing not race stuff, but there's a lot of things to talk about in Formula One. Yeah. So make sure to look out in your timelines where we'll be there. We'll be there. Will you? Nah. Also, remember to watch the Monday show. Tuesday. If you don't, Monday record Tuesday. I just always want to say the back stuff. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Thank you. It comes out on Tuesday. Obviously we still have that show going on. It's a great show. If you somehow haven't watched that one and you've seen this one, you're missing out on probably a great time.
So funny.
Go do that. Don't mention the Nyasha and the wedding thing about the Patreon thing, because we keep that
on the DL.
Yeah, but you can do it. Don't worry, but like don't tell them.
Yeah.
No comments on theirs. If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, if you like the show, if you have anything you would just like to see from the show during the summer break, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, on YouTube, comments. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, remember to give out those 5 stars and download on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the Quick Stop F1 show. And just stop by and say hello whenever you want. We went a little long, but sorry, we just have too much fun recording these things. I don't know what to tell you.
Contracts are a long, drawn out process.
We tried our best.
As a legal expert, it's just really hard to go through contracts without getting into the minutia.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, Very, very minutia.
Very minutia. I love
many,
that word.
Many minutia. Many minutia. Yeah, so we'll be back on Tuesday, then on Saturday. I have been Mario. You can find me on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram, Mario_APM. Tasha, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram at Tasha. And yeah, here on Saturdays. Love
Fun,
hanging out.
You know, that's what it is.
Having a blast.
We've got Chris doing his best to make me look smart. Tasha does that for herself, so there's no need. You can find Chris at TRIPP Trip C. So I've been Mario. She's been Tasha. This has been a long show. Tasha, take us away so Nasha doesn't
Kill us.
get very angry. Take us away, please.
Oh, well, guys, thank you again so much for watching and listening. We really appreciate you. And as always, remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Peace out.
Look, mate, if you've got this far, clearly you like what we do. So here's a link to subscribe to the Quicks Up F1 family. Give that a click. And here's another link to some more cool on our channel. Sorry, cool stuff. And remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Click the stuff. Click the links. Click the links. Click the links. There. They're there.